The readings will now be given by Gary.
I will read from the Bible. Psalm. Bless the Lord, ye his angels, that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. Ezekiel. I will put a new spirit within you, that they may walk in my statutes, and keep mine ordinances, and do them. And they shall be my people, and I will be their God. Isaiah. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. 1 Samuel. And the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli. And the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no open vision. And it came to pass at that time, when Eli was laid down in his place, and his eyes began to wax dim, that he could not see, and ere the lamp of God went out in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was, and Samuel was laid down to sleep, that the Lord called Samuel. And he answered, Here am I. And he ran unto Eli and said, Here am I, for thou callest me. And he said, I called not. Lie down again. And he went and lay down. And the Lord called yet again Samuel. And Samuel arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for thou didst call me. And he answered, I called not, my son. Lie down again. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, neither was the word of the Lord yet revealed unto him. And the Lord called Samuel again a third time. And he arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for thou didst call me. And Eli perceived that the Lord had called the child. Therefore Eli said unto Samuel, Go, lie down, and it shall be, if he call thee, thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. And the Lord came and stood, and called as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel answered, Speak, for thy servant heareth. And the Lord said to Samuel, Behold, I will do a thing in Israel, at which both the ears of every one that heareth it shall tingle. And Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and did let none of his words fall to the ground. And all Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of the Lord. Isaiah. Since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither hath the eye seen, O God, beside thee, what he hath prepared for him that waiteth for him. 1 Corinthians. Paul, called to be an apostle of Jesus Christ, through the will of God. And I, brethren, when I came to you, came not with excellency of speech or of wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of God. For I determined not to know anything among you, save Jesus Christ, and him crucified. And I was with you in weakness, and in fear, and in much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God. But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit. For the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of God. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. For who hath known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ. I will read correlative passages from Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures and from Prose Works by Mary Baker Eddy. Spiritual sense is the discernment of spiritual good. Understanding is the line of demarcation between the real and unreal. Spiritual understanding unfolds mind, life, truth, and love, and demonstrates the divine sense, giving the spiritual proof of the universe in Christian Science. This understanding is not intellectual, is not the result of scholarly attainments. It is the reality of all things brought to light. Individual consciousness in man is inseparable from good. There is no sensible matter, no sense in matter. But there is a spiritual sense, a sense of spirit. And this is the only consciousness belonging to true individuality, or a divine sense of being. The testimony of material sense in relation to existence is false, for matter can neither see, hear, nor feel, and mortal mind must change all its conceptions of life, substance, and intelligence before it can reach the immortality of mind and its ideas. It is erroneous to accept the evidence of the material senses, whence to reason out God, when it is conceded that the five personal senses can take no cognizance of spirit or of its phenomena. False, realistic views sap the science of principle and idea. They make deity unreal and inconceivable, either as mind or matter. But truth comes to the rescue of reason and immortality, and unfolds the real nature of God and the universe to the spiritual sense, which beareth witness of things spiritual and not material. Science reverses the evidence of material sense with the spiritual sense that God, Spirit, is the only substance, and that man, his image and likeness, is spiritual, not material. This great truth does not destroy, but substantiates man's identity, together with his immortality and pre-existence, or his spiritual coexistence with his Maker. To reach the summit of science, whence to discern God's perfect ways and means, the material sense must be controlled by the higher spiritual sense, and truth be enthroned, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. Man is the offspring and idea of the Supreme Being, whose law is perfect and infinite. In obedience to this law, man is forever unfolding the endless beatitudes of being, for he is the image and likeness of infinite life, truth, and love. As mortal mind or the material sense of life is put off, the spiritual sense and science of being is brought to light. According to Christian Science, perfection is normal, not miraculous. Clothed and in its right mind, man's individuality is sinless, deathless, harmonious, eternal. His materiality, clad in a false mentality, wages feeble fight with his individuality, his physical senses with his spiritual senses. The latter move in God's grooves of science. The former revolve in their own orbits and must stand the friction of false selfhood until self-destroyed. The baptism of the Holy Ghost is the Spirit of truth, cleansing from all sin, giving mortals new motives, new purposes, new affections, all pointing upward. This mental condition settles into strength, freedom, deep-toned faith in God, and a marked loss of faith in evil, in human wisdom, human policy, ways, and means. It develops individual capacity, increases the intellectual activities, and so quickens moral sensibility that the great demands of spiritual sense are recognized, and they rebuke the material senses, holding sway over human consciousness. By purifying human thought, this state of mind permeates with increased harmony all the minutiae of human affairs. It brings with it wonderful foresight, wisdom, and power. It unselfs the mortal purpose, gives steadiness to resolve, and success to endeavor. Through the accession of spirituality, God, the divine principle of Christian Science, literally governs the aims, ambition, and acts of the scientist. The divine ruling gives prudence and energy. It banishes forever all envy, rivalry, evil thinking, evil speaking and acting, and mortal mind, thus purged, obtains peace and power outside of itself. This practical Christian science is the divine mind, the incorporeal truth and love, shining through the mists of materiality and melting away the shadows called sin, disease, and death.